hi to YouTube because this is definitely where it's going. So we have. Oh wait. Oh no. Fuck. Well, never mind. It's only us in here, so it kind of works out. I'm with GoneMad, another prolific Ghostblade player, and we're gonna make a matchup chart
Yeah.
because this next patch is gonna be kind of crazy, and it'd be kind of funny to see how some of these matchups change in the future. Even though there's only one I really care about that I need to change. That changes. I'm fucking
Yeah.
fucking straight with this game. Uh, all right. So, do you want to start with the really good matchups, the even matchups, or the matchups that we both cringe when we see?
Hmm. I feel like we could start with the worst and work our way up to the best because
All
I
right.
don't think there's that many really bad ones.
All right. So this one goes without saying. I
Yeah.
labeled this. I labeled this one Exodia, which is
Yeah.
essentially just it's a lost condition no matter what. If they have Exodia
Yeah.
in their hand, they just kind of win. Not much you can do about it. You could try. You will give yourself a massive fucking headache in the process of trying to play this matchup. But in the end, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah. And
This
you win out neutral, but in every single other regard, you're just dying or just being forced into uninteractive scenarios. Even on your own offense, you can't really do anything because she'll just DP out.
and then
You
she
can
could
kind of space it, but your pressure is a lot worse.
not really worth it in my opinion. I'd rather just like you could literally just play any other character and you'd probably have a better chance.
Yeah.
Like the fact that she could like DP Ghost and then still convert off of it on your set play is the dumbest thing ever. Don't play this matchup. If you need
Oh boy.
like any indication to not play this matchup, uh, Yu Seong Chao is a really good ghost in Korea. He's won an event before. Um,
He's qualified for Arc World Tour even.
and
So
he lost to two strikers, not one but two. Don't play this fucking matchup. Like, this matchup is just depressing. Actually, I don't even think this matchup is 3-7 because I've played 3-7s. This is definitely 2-8. I'm saying, nah, that's not no 3-7. It's definitely a 2-8 because, nah, 3-7s feel like, all right, you win. You feel bad about winning. You probably suffered in the way of winning, but you could still like scratch a W somewhere just by like holding them or like character unfamiliarity. I don't think any striker knows the Ghostblade matchup and they could still just fuck you up.
yeah,
Matchup's fucking
definitely a painful matchup.
worst matchup I've ever played in my lifespan. That's like 10 years of playing fighting games. All right, let's not sad boy over this matchup that will no
Yeah.
longer exist because next match is gonna be 3-7. But do you think he has any 4-6 matchups?
I think Hitmen probably. Uh, I don't know. It's like one of those matchups that obviously is not in your favor, but it just feels a lot worse than it actually is because in theory we do have a lot to get around what Hitman can do that other characters don't really have access to, like uh max jump height JS beating out DP. uh our buttons are long and fast, so we can stop him from doing fake pressure resets after Caracol whenever he's at a good enough distance. Like if he tries to do stuff like 5S or 6S, we can stuff those out. And we also can instant overhead him for big damage, but at the same time, it's Hitman, and we don't have a DP. Not that it's a great asset in the matchup, but
I would still like to
yeah,
have a DP.
I would still like to have a DP.
Yeah, even like finding out that like you can back jump JB his DP, finding out that if they just like what is it they have to do? They have like one option that's really good against it, but otherwise, oh,
2S maybe? I don't know.
I forgot what it is. There is counterplay to it, but it's just like it's not like
Yeah.
decisive enough to say. I will say though, Hitman is like one of the weird matches where it's like sometimes I feel like it could be even, and then other times it feels like, oh my god, this match is fucking annoying.
Yeah,
Like,
'cause, I mean, it's definitely the kind of matchup that's gonna tilt you as a Ghostblade player, considering how much we rely on our strong presence in neutral. When this guy is just doing 5S and 6S, and there's literally no time to whiff punish him, it is painful, to say the least.
painful is a understatement. All right, I think this is the fun matchup that we sort of disagree on because
Mhm.
where are you putting Swiftmaster?
I'm putting Swift in even, in my opinion. I really do think that the matchup is even. Like, Swift is a low HP character, and we do a lot of damage, and his DP is super easy to safe jump. There's lots of setups you can do where he just can't DP him. Uh, his, his mix is basically non-existent, and we can just kind of block him out. Even his Wind Orb, we can 2S. Our 2S can cover basically an entire screen's worth of length whenever it's pulling us inwards towards him. And we have the option to 2S in order to kill him for trying to do 5M. But there are still some issues in the matchup that I think prevent it from being favorable. Uh,
I'm kind of on the fence. Sometimes I'm like, okay, this could be even. Sometimes it's like, oh, this is definitely slight disadvantage. Um, but I do think Ghostblade does have a lot of counterplay for what Swift wants to do in terms of I think it's 6S, 5M, uh, Orb. I think is starting. I'm starting to realize there's counterplay options to that. So
yeah.
I may like lean towards even in the future. Now,
I think the main issue in the Swift matchup is definitely tap. Like, that's, it stops us from doing 5M completely safely at full range, and it also can just halt us running in and just doing stupid shit. Even just raw 2M oftentimes just gets
mhm.
smoked by tap.
Now before we continue, I want to point something out to everyone who's watching this. Right, we literally just talked about top three characters, and
Yeah.
one of the top three is an even. The rest of the top two isn't disadvantages or worse, right? And we have yet to touch any other character, and we agreed to go from bottom to top.
Yeah.
So that means every other matchup we're going to discuss at this point forward is either going to be even or better.
Mhm.
Now, thing I want to point out is that despite that, this character is still not top five on
Mhm.
paper. Well, technically on paper he should be top five, but for some reason he's not. Now, I've never really understood that, but we can talk
I
about
think
that.
it's mainly because the top two he like definitively loses to, and that's kind of holding him back. Because the top three or top, I'd say even top five, kind of have like an RPS around each other. You pick Striker and she'll counter Hitman to an extent. You pick uh, Berserker, counters Striker, but gets kind of shat on by other top five contenders like Ranger and perhaps Kunoichi. But Ghostblade is like, I mean, you're kind of losing to top tiers, no matter what. And this is a game with a lot of top tier players. I think that's what's preventing him, in my opinion.
Can't wait for
Mainly
this buff.
Striker and Hitman. Yeah.
I think if even if the striker matchup was like 4-6, he'd be in the running for top five. Honestly, like
Yeah.
it doesn't matter like the matchup is like Hitman is bad. I just think like the striker matchup is so overwhelmingly bad that
Hmm.
it knocks him down a couple tiers.
I feel like a Ghostblade with a pocket Zerker though is like
Oh
just
yeah,
for Striker, definitely top five, I'd say.
oh yeah. If my berserker was the level of Hubert, I would not fear any matchup in this game. Any.
Yeah.
And I do think like Ghostblade and Berserker are like the perfect duo, and I think it's even funnier because they stem from the same class. But like you could literally just cover every matchup of the game with that.
Yeah.
But since we're talking about Berserker, we can mention
Yeah.
him as well. So we're gonna put him at even, even though we both know the dark truth about this matchup.
Yeah, with the dark truth.
All right, cool. We're never
Forbidden
gonna.
knowledge.
Yeah, cool.
No one needs to know.
Yeah, I'm not publicizing that on my goddamn stream. You gotta go find that shit out yourselves. But Berserker Ghostblade's even. It's annoying as fuck because
You're getting too touched. Like everyone else, you're getting too touched up.
yeah, you're getting too touched. Yeah. But at the same time, it's kind of fun because if they fuck up once because of Ghostblade's damage, the next hit's pretty much a kill combo. Even if you get it off of like a 5A or a 2A starter, if you like know how to optimize it, you're practically killing. It's just really fucking annoying because there's never really a real scenario where Berserker does not innately land a first hit. Like,
yeah, you definitely have to make some hard call outs against him in neutral. I mean, you can sometimes get lucky and just hit a 5M right as he's trying to activate Frenzy, but that is so rare that it's basically a non-issue.
I'd have a better chance trying to hit. I'd have a better chance trying to hit him out of 6S.
Yeah.
Because every Berserker knows not to go for 6S in that fucking matchup. It's annoying. But there are some interesting like aspects of the matchup that I found out. Like you can 6S, like if you see JM and it's not like really low to the ground, you could 6S through it and the 6S will hit him out before the explosions happen. So it's just like, okay, cool. You just not invalidate, but like you get some mental security in the fact that like, okay, he wasted mana and I don't have to deal with this fact that like I gotta deal with these explosions that might punish me later. So cool things like that happen in the matchup. But it's really fucking stupid. I just want the matchup to be so I have an equal chance of hitting him more than he has a chance of hitting me. But 8 times out of 10 he usually gets the first hit.
I think the thing that makes it, in our favor, because like if we should be losing for the same reasons as Striker, but we have the opportunity to immediately take our turn back no matter what. Whenever he does any button into Frenzy, like we block and he cancels it into Frenzy, like we always have the ability to take our turn back because our buttons are so long and huge, are long and fast. And also our guard cancel is able to hit him out of stuff like 6M conversion, Frenzy reactivate. It's able to hit him out of that, which is, he has to hard bait it, and if he does that, then his pressure ends. So definitely we have more options on defense than most other characters, I'd say.
Just make guard cancel positive, plus on block. I mean plus on hit for us. I hope that's a buff in the game. I didn't actually think about that up until now.
Yeah, hopefully.
All right, so here's the controversial one. Grappler.
I feel like Grappler's even.
Yeah. I remember like when the game first launched, it was like really up for discussion because it's like, oh, some grapplers feel that Ghostblade wins, some grapplers feel that Grappler wins, and I'm just like, this shit feels kind of even. Like you can check his lows for his armor options because 2A is really good at doing that, but you definitely have to play like a coward that entire matchup.
And if you get even touched by JS, the round is pretty much over.
I'll be, that matchup is so funny because I'll be running the entire time playing that matchup. It's like, no, I don't want you anywhere near me. Get the fuck away.
And even whenever you get them in the corner, it's not like bad for you by any means, but it is kind of annoying because stuff that works perfectly fine against other characters, like just doing 5S, he can just parry the last hit of it unless you cancel into a mana skill. So if you're out of mana, he gets a guaranteed parry there. Or he gets a guaranteed parry, or you just do 4S cancel, and that button takes a million years to recover, so you die anyways.
Yeah, pretty much. All right, so since Kazunkai came into the stream, he said, I feel Vanguard is slight advantage.
I disagree. I feel like that's like almost. I feel like that's 7-3.
All right, 7-3. All right, no.
Look,
I think
all I'm saying is I don't lose.
All right,
I don't be losing.
I do think the matchup is Ghostblade advantage, but I definitely say 6-4, not 7-3. Like 7-3 for me is like Crusader. Like,
Okay, I mean, yeah, Crusader is like
yeah,
bully tier.
I see Crusader on the screen and I'm like, oh, this is an easy win. Like, I don't have to really do anything about this because just the way the matchup works, I'm just gonna win. Like,
I mean, the thing is with me though, is like, what does Vanguard really do against us in that matchup?
I mean,
Like,
so the thing about so I think what makes it all right. So while I agree it is advantages, I think the thing that differentiates the fact that when you're playing uh, versus a Crusader versus when you're playing it versus a Vanguard is that Vanguard actually has tools in neutral. They might not be good tools in neutral, but compared to
that is true.
Crusader who
Vanguard
has
definitely.
yeah, compared to Crusader, who has like literally no options versus you, Crusader can still contest you in neutral. Like he still has really good pokes now, and just like you he definitely does like have half screen pokes. But the onus is on him to not make a mistake because if he whiffs any of those half screen pokes, you get a free
He
five
can
and punish.
actually get punished. Yeah.
Yeah, you get a free five
I
and punish.
I did definitely not really. I definitely didn't consider the ability of like his 5B and his 2M and other like other buttons of his that really control the airspace well. That definitely does make it a little better than 7-3, I'd say.
Like
Actually, I agree with 6-4 because you can't really jump around with him.
yeah, like he definitely has like he definitely has air swatters for normals, but he's definitely not as helpless as Crusader in the matchup.
Yeah.
Like I just see Crusader, I'm just like, damn, I'm really just about to do this to you. Like at no point when you're fighting Crusader do I ever feel concerned. And the only time I'm ever concerned is like, oh shit, he actually won the round. All right, let me sit up a bit. Let me tighten up. But like I fought Pillow and I'm just like, all right, this matchup. He definitely has tools. He can definitely. And I think the other thing is that makes it concerning is that I'm not really scared of Crusader pressure. Like at no point during Crusader's pressure do I actually feel like fearful because
Yeah.
but Vanguard is just like, all right, now we're like, he actually has like a strike throw game that I actually have to be like,
Yeah.
weary of. Where it's just like, okay, Crusader, I beat you in neutral, I beat you in offense. If I don't really care about defense because nothing you can do is really threatening to me. All I have to do is just take strike throw, and it's not really rewarding for you. So I might as well just take the throw. And then on top of that, your buttons are negative, and you can't link into your buttons. So it's just like, all right, I'm just gonna kill you.
Yeah.
And while you can roll JS, it's just like I still have to like take that read. It's still like me preemptively trying to figure out what you're gonna do. So
Yeah.
I'd rather just deal with Crusader offense as shitty as it is versus Vanguard. Um, you know, it's another matchup I think it might be approaching 7-3.
Lost Warrior.
Okay, as long as we're on the same page, it's definitely Lost Warrior.
Yeah.
Literally the same flaws as Crusader.
Poor guy. He cannot do anything.
I actually think wait. He might have just as bad as flaws as Crusader, but I don't know. Like Vanguard has slower normals. His parry doesn't work. He has the same weaknesses. He gets hit with the same shit that Crusader does, which is instant overhead or low. I think the only difference is that Lost Warrior actually hurts.
Yeah, he actually does damage off of things that aren't like his strongest starters. Even his decent starters are doing a lot of damage.
Yeah, I think that's it.
But I think he does even worse than Crusader does in neutral though, because he really like if he does 6S, you can just 5M teleport and it's your turn. He has to hold that pressure because he's like both minus and he has 10 frame buttons, so there's nothing he can do, and he has a counter just to
And
make matters even worse.
you know, what's the other thing that I found out about this matchup that makes it really funny. So there's actually a level of RPS that I haven't been abusing versus Lost Warrior, and that's essentially whenever he does JS. Is it JS? Yeah, I think it's JS. You can kill him for that. It's really fucking funny. Like,
Yeah.
oh, you JS? Oh, that's cool. Let me just use like one of the most durable projectiles in the game that just happens to go full screen and just hits you upon landing, and then can convert off of that for no damn reason.
Yeah.
So like, oh, he did JS. Okay, I'm just gonna dash up and do 5M and kill you. GG's. Yeah,
Yeah.
that matchup is not fun for Lost Warrior.
No, it is not.
You know it's bad when who was it? Armperer counterpicked the
Yeah.
fucking Lost Warrior with
Yeah.
Ghostblade, and his Ghostblade was horrendous and still won the set. You could tell like Armperer had like no formal knowledge of the character, but he
Yeah.
knew the character wins the fucking matchup, and that's all he needed.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Um.
Okay,
Okay.
so I guess we've kind of foregone any sense of order, so we can just do in quiz next. I think in quiz is 6-4, in
Yeah.
my opinion.
6-4. So jokingly, like at what point? So this is like way back when, but when we first made the list, and someone mentioned Anton as the best Inquisitor, I definitely had like the side eye because I'm like, is he really the best Inquisitor? Because I've never lost to him in tournament. And then I was just like, wait. I started looking at like how the two characters interact. And I'm like, oh, he is really good. It's just that Ghostblade
He
just
can't
beats the
do
holy shit
anything.
out of her. Like, oh my god.
Yeah, like she can't. Whenever you have White Life, she doesn't have a safe ender to her strings. Like she has to take a gamble because if she does 5M, you just 6S conversion 2A her. If she does 4M, you can do whatever the fuck you want for with that. Like there's so
Form is
many
will.
things you can do. Huh? Yeah, wheel.
Oh, so I just 2M and just
Yeah,
smoker.
you
Get my
you can
5B started.
2M. You can do 5B from where you are. Even you can do 6S if you want to be really safe. But yeah, it really is painful for the Inquisitor player. And but the thing that the saving grace in that matchup, in my opinion, is that she does have some things that can work against us. You know, things like JM, or she can completely, like, if we whiffed 2S, she can command dash in and kill us for it. So we actually have to play smart around that normal. Um, and if you get her in Awakening but don't kill,
No
then
boy. Yeah.
you die. If
Yeah.
she makes you block, you are dead.
She's diet hitman at this point.
Yeah, Diet Coke Hitman.
All right.
But
So since we're talking about advantages matchups, let's just put Enchantress right there too.
yeah, I feel like Enchantress definitely a 6-4.
Just you beat her in neutral.
I don't know. I'm even somewhat feeling it might be a 7-3 because like
I
there's
might have.
really not much she can do. Like we all of our buttons are better than her. She can't zone us because every single one of her zoning options gets beaten by
By
5M.
5M.
Every single one.
Yeah, she can't do. She can't do. She can't do fireball. She can't do thorns.
She can't do the doll. She can't do well, I
Yeah,
guess she can do 6M, but that's not really getting her anything.
I think the only problem is that her corner pressure is actually really good against Ghostblade. Even if you
Yeah,
even if you do guard cancel her, because your guard cancel is 0 on block and she has a fucking puppet.
yeah,
It,
she can RPS you, and it's definitely not fun. But like even then, in order to like safely get back in, she spaces herself to where her pressure doesn't really stay that scary, and you can typically get out like pretty quickly after that. So it's not like a true pressure reset off of our guard cancel.
nope, but it's still something that you have to be like
Yeah,
cognizant of, which is nah.
it is something.
If I can instant overhead the motherfucker, I'll definitely put it in 7-3. But
Okay, yeah, that is true. She does. There is also the fact that you can't do well. You can, but it's not like as effective to do jump in, like holding down 9 and then JM against her, like going in deep so you can set up the strike throw. You can't really do that because the first hit of JM will whiff. So you have to like neutral jump and do it, and it makes your pressure slightly worse. So I'd have to. I guess yeah. I'd still keep it in 6-4, but it's
all right,
definitely not a good matchup for her.
all right. So here's a fun one. Kuno.
Kunoichi, I think, is slight advantage.
All right, so reason with me here, right? So
Hmm.
I definitely think the character is so Kuno is a hot take for me, right? Because I definitely thought this matchup was slight advantage. Like I thought it was thought it was slight advantage, and then I fought someone, and I'm like, yo, this matchup might be even, and every other Kuno just fucking sucks.
I feel like I know the player you're talking about. Yeah,
Yeah, like
I've heard similar stories.
I was like, yo, I'm confident in this matchup. Yes, I'm talking about FaZe. The only Kuno I've
Yeah,
ever lost to
FaZe.
in a set is FaZe. Like I fought every other Kuno,
I
and I'm
need to
like,
I need to get a game with this person because I hear
yo,
people gassing him up constantly. I need to get a taste of this for myself.
I promise you, you will fight him, and we will come back here, and you're gonna tell me, nah, put her in even, put her in even. Like, I'm gonna just do this.
Okay.
How to do this properly? Hmm. All right, there we go. That's how I'm gonna do it.
All right.
That's not my problem. That's not my problem. If you are any other Kuno, that shit is slight advantage. If you are Phases Kuno specifically, that shit is even.
Yeah.
That, that's all I'm gonna say.
All right.
All right,
So,
troubleshooter is actually a weird one for me too.
I definitely wouldn't say that it's even.
I
I feel like it's a good matchup for us. It's just
Yeah,
he can do some stuff that's pretty annoying to
yeah.
deal with, namely 6M, in my opinion. Like, getting caught for backdashing full screen is something only I should be able to do. No one else is allowed to do that.
I think the problem is that how far his projectile travels
Yeah.
across the screen. Like I know Ghostblade's 5M is 20 frames, but I don't think troubleshooters is that slow. And
And I
he
must say, we
definitely.
do have good answers to net as well in neutral.
Mhm. All right, let's just put her here because if I don't put Dragonite in 6-4, I'm gonna hear it from everyone else.
I just look. I really do feel that it is 6-4 because we can just teleport out of half of her setups, and she has to like hard bait it and just sit there doing nothing in the hopes that we end up doing it just for like a 2A heavily scaled combo because Astra's already out and she can't really side switch either, so she just does like the weakest mid screen combo she has.
All right, so
But
it took me like a 30-minute discussion with Head Tie to talk about this matchup and why it's 6-4, right? And the main point for me is that I had Lost Warrior and Crusader as like hard 6-4 matchups, and it felt really weird to put Dragonite in 6-4 when
ah,
when Crusader and Lost Warrior are in that matchup. But I'm like, so what ended up happening was that Hentai said, okay, so if you make Dragonite 6-4, are you willing to admit that Crusader and Lost Warrior might be potentially 7-3? And I thought about it. I'm like, when's the last time I lost to any of those characters? I'm like, huh. You know what? You might be onto something. This might actually be a 6-4. Those two matchups just might be 7-3. But beforehand, I was definitely saying this matchup was like slight advantage because I was comparing it to Crusader and Lost Warrior.
mm,
But
yeah.
yeah,
We force her to play a lot more grounded as well because of the again 2M. 2M basically makes that matchup because we can just teleport under her fireballs and just
yo,
5S her. We can
you chose to fly? Crazy how I'm gonna just clip the
yeah
wings now.
yeah I'm gonna just teleport, do a little JA, a little something like that.
All
Very
right,
tragic.
all right, launcher. I actually don't know.
Launcher.
I don't know why I put launcher. I know it's not even, but I feel like it might be like. Ah,
It is. I feel like it's. I mean, it's at very least 6-4 for us. Like, I mean, not only is she the worst character in the game, genuinely, we counter like everything she can do except 5S, her flamethrower. Like, other than that, and 5A,
I mean,
everything she does, we can just 6S through. Like,
I mean,
we can just ignore her entirely.
5B still punishable if they badly space it by 5B. So they be definitely risking their life with that one.
Yeah, and we can just teleport over a grenade, or we can teleport through her slow projectiles. Like 5M, yeah, like Echo was saying, we just
All right,
Yeah,
last.
2S and 5M just threaten to kill her at any point.
Yeah, you're right. All right, last matchup. And
Ranger.
this is the one I know you have conflicted feelings with.
It is the most painful even of my life. I recognize it entirely as like a player matchup, but like I hate this matchup with a passion. It is just so annoying to
I think
navigate Ranger.
I think the only matchup I think Cal is probably the only one who makes me be like, shit, this is like I think I could take like a 2 week hiatus and come back to playing every matchup and still have like some idea to play the matchup, how to play the
Yeah.
matchup. I think Ranger's the only matchup where I gotta take a refresher course on how to fight this person because this is like what the fuck.
Yeah, like I hate just getting like bounced around in the air and then they just or like they drop their combos and they're still plus enough that I can't even roll and I'm just like how do these things happen? And they also have, you know, a unique guard break setup on us that Cal likes to do sometimes. It's not entirely real and they can get punished for doing it, but like you have to it's basically RPS still, hoping that you guard cancel when they start to do JA and not when they do another JM or something. It's very annoying to deal with him on off like on your defense. It's very annoying to deal with him, and that DP is really good at anti-airing. It is so active. You can barely stall the thing out. You have to do like 2 JMs and a JS in order to beat it out.
I'm mad you know that oddly specific situation on how to beat it out. Oh my god.
It comes up more than you'd think. Knowing like especially against Cal, who will press that button as many times as he can during a set.
He DPs you. He never DPs me. I be waiting for the DP. I'm like, yo, let me smoke you this one time. Nah, man, never DPs me. Yes, Mega Dosage. DK is definitely 6'4". As much as I would hate to admit it. It's actually one of the matchups I thought was 6'4" earlier on, but I was like lying to myself and in denial. Because I'm like, this matchup can't be 6'4", because that would mean outside of top 2, Ghostblade kind of fucks up everyone. But yeah.
It's kind of true. We do kind of fuck up everyone outside of top 2. Yeah. So.
Yeah. So this is your Ghostblade matchup chart worked on by two prominent Ghostblades. So if you have any
best Ghostblades this side of the earth.
if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Am I posting this on YouTube? Yes. I every time I make a YouTube video, I say hi to YouTube everyone, and that's how I start my introductions. It's corny, but it works.
Nobody said hi to YouTube this time around.
That's not my problem. That's not my problem.
YouTube is lonely.
That's not my problem. I gave them an opportunity. They ain't say hi to YouTube, so not on me. But yeah, I see we have no questions. That means I hope you guys enjoyed this video. But he wins for neutral pretty hard, so I can see it. Yeah, we win neutral and we kind of just shut out damage. And then when GoneMad starts optimizing JM mid-screen JM corners, mid-screen JM combos, he's gonna really love that fucking matchup.
One of these days I'll bother.
You have several questions. What are your questions, Echo? And if you mention anything about something I might announce later today, I will shoot you.
Got the 50 cal pointed right at him. Just waiting for him to say it.
Why is Launcher not in 7-3?
I don't know. I feel like it might be 7-3. I just feel like it might be. She really can't do anything. Like the worst part is you can just like get a hit because it's so easy to get a hit at least on Launcher, and then you just stand full screen and she can't do anything to you. She's a zoner that can't pressure you from full screen.
When is the last time any of us lost to a Launcher as Ghostblade?
I think back in week 2, I lost to one.
It was probably Ice Kid.
Considered uninstalling.
It was probably Ice Kid. I don't know the last time I lost to a Launcher.
I don't think I lost to Ice Kid. But yeah.
I'm really sitting here trying to think about this without I lost to a launcher. All right, you know what? I will. We will put launcher at 7-3.
A few moments later.
So
Pre-patch Swift. Oh, sorry. You go.
so Echo. So you know the dark secret, but you don't understand how it works. That is not like something exclusive to Ghostblade. That is something exclusive to fighting game characters. Every character is like that. But you can answer.
Okay, yeah. So, oh my god.
Is mm, mm, mm,
Controversy. Look. Look, he plays Ghostblade, okay?
mm,
I had to look, you shared with me, I shared with him, okay?
mm,
Look, this is the past is in the past, Taika,
mm.
okay?
Just
The
answer.
past is in the
Just answer
past.
Rude's fucking question. GoneMad.
uh, so pre-patch Swift was actually his worst matchup, I'd say, pre-patch. Like,
Striker.
there was absolutely no. I think it was worse than Striker pre-patch. I'm not even joking. There was nothing you could do to that character. They could put on belt and just sit there, and you couldn't do anything. Every single button you could do would get. You could do, you know, your disjointed stuff like 2S or that
5B.
or 5B would still get you hit if they blocked. And it lasted. You have to remember, it lasted mad long back then. So he would just put it on and then run towards you, and you just had to guess. You just had to like either sit there and take, you know, you had to block, take a bunch of guard damage in a pretty hard to beat setup at the time. I mean, it's the same setup as now, but definitely wasn't as figured out back then. But yeah, he could just put on belt, and there was nothing you could do offensively because you would just get hit. You could do 2S, and it would safely hit him without you getting hit by one of the tiny tornadoes, but the sorry, you could do 2S and not get hit, but at the same time he could just run towards you while you're doing 2S. And he can also just run towards you and block at the same time, or roll into you. If he rolled into you, there was absolutely nothing you could do. Basically, it was just belt. That entire matchup was just 4M. Everything else was decent. Like, I still don't think that, like, it was that bad to deal with Swift back then, except for belt. But yeah, that was a lot of words.
I mean, you kind of like did what I want you to do. Talk about, because we're about to hit the 40-minute mark. So we're just gonna end the video here, and just thank you for showing up. And if you want to see more videos like this, feel free to support the channel, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, like below, tell me your thoughts on the Ghostblade matchup chart, and I hope to see you soon again. Bye, YouTube.
Goodbye, YouTube.